Welcome back to part 3 of the disassembly and service of this 1973 Seiko 5 automatic. In the previous part I disassembled the automatic winder and we found that there was quite considerable wear in the area where the gear runs that actuates the barrel. And if you just see that in the light, I tilt that, it's all, well, nickel plated, but this is worn excuse me, this is worn down to the brass underneath. The concerning part about that is the fact that all those metal shavings are distributed in the movement. Excuse me a second. Sorry about that. Yes, I'm filming this as live with limited, or hopefully no edits. Yes, there's going to be mistakes. I'm going to get the words wrong. I'm going to cough and splutter and do the things that normal people do. This is totally unrehearsed. Now, one of the questions that one of my sons asked after yesterday's, the previous episode was, Dad, you put all the bits into that ice cube tray, which I keep going on about. What happens if somebody tips it upside down? Well, yeah, I'm going to get very upset. However, sticky tape. So all I've done is to cover over the sections that I filled with sticky tape. And there you go. A 5-cent solution to a $2 problem. There we go. Right, anyway. Today's work is looking at the calendar, and what I'm going to do is to disassemble that. If I can get it to sit nicely in the movement holder without damaging anything. Where's the... Try and get the balance wheel not on a clamp lobe. Get that. There we go, just gently. Right, let's zoom in and look at the detail. There we go. Okay. Right, that's perhaps a bit too much. There we are. Right, we can see that a little better. Okay, so what we have is a sea washer. Let's just get this oblique, and you can see that just here, and that holds in the day wheel, or the day indicator. Now then, that in theory should just pop off. Yeah, and I'm going to try and do that without, oops, sorry, do it and get it in the, it's a bit like a circlip, if you will. There we go. I'm going to do this off camera. I can't. I'm blind as a bat. Okay. No, can't do it. Oh well. Right. Okay. Sorry, I am going to have to do this off camera. I can't. I need to see more. I'll just pause it for a second. Right. Okay. Got that off. That all I had to do was use a bit of magnification. Doesn't take much to get off, but when you can't see it, it's a bit of a trauma. Right, there we go. That's the sea washer. You can just see that. It's actually not flat. It's like a round or semi-round piece of wire. Okay, it's like a circlip, which would be flat, but it's domed on the top, and this is going in pot number 7, and it just sits underneath that little ridge there. Right, so we can now take the day wheel off. C-ring upward. Okay. And we have a little gear underneath that built in. It's a very coarse gear. And that is acted upon by, let's pop that in there, that is acted upon by this little plastic pusher, which will spin round and then clonk it into the next day. Right, so we have a cover plate that is holding down the day wheel, which is the next thing to come off. I'm having trouble holding this down, actually. Let's just reseat that in the holder. Yeah, that's got it. Right. So, the long screwdriver, let's have the second one, Mr. Red. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 screws holding this down. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think it's Mr. Yellow, actually, that I need for this. Let's just get you in view. Oh, that is so loose. We did this yesterday. Let me get me a little piece of Rodico and peel back the sticky tape. And talk about transferable skills. One of my sons is into camera lenses, and the skills that I'm developing doing this are quite useful for maintaining or helping to maintain some of the lenses he has. But camera lenses are an absolute delight because they're about 1,000 times bigger than even pocket watch bits too. I can honestly say that a bit of sticky Rodico is infinitely better. Actually, I tell you what, look at the muck that's on that. All I've done is pick out a few screws, and the muck that's in there is unbelievable. I don't know what that is. The number of times in the past where I've been practicing on other movements, whether they're pocket watches or wrist watches. And I have had a little practice. This isn't like the first one I've ever done, but this is the first movement that I've done for other than practicing for my own benefit. The number of screws that the carpet underneath this table has eaten, never to be seen again, is quite a lot. Oh yeah. And I get told off. There we are. Right, so that's 4 screws out. And the cover plate, a bit of muck on me tweezers, there we go. cover plate should just lift out. So, what's to determine which way that goes? So it's the letter C. Okay, right, let's just have a look on the back of that to see if there's anything that suggests where. No, that looks pretty good. Probably do with a clean. At the sort of 1 o'clock position, 2 o'clock position where my tweezers are, there looks to be quite a bit of dried lubrication. Oops, there we go. And the date wheel should now just lift off, which indeed it does. Okay, and looking at the back of it, that's quite a coarse gear, and that is, yeah, there's quite a bit of mechanism there. Okie dokie. Right. So, yep, let's just pick you up very carefully so as not to scratch. Right, now the first thing we need to be careful of is this spring. Oops, sorry, you're out of view, I do apologise. Is that spring, because that is just lodged into a little gap, and I'm just going to get a piece of pegwood, otherwise known as a barbecue skewer, sawn off barbecue skewer, and I am going to hold that spring down as I lever it up, or I'm going to try to hold it down, because what I don't want that to do, like all the other parts, is to go disappearing into the ether. Now it sits on 2 little posts, and oh darn, it's dropped out of the holder. I must get a better movement holder actually. From my perspective, this movement holder is flimsy. I want something that's sturdy and solid and heavy and will resist pushing around, well, to some degree. There you go. Tiny little spring. That's, okay, that looks in pretty good condition. So that can go in pot number 7. And I can pick it up. Come on. There you go. Right. Okay, so what do we have? Well, we can also see the keyless. You can see the keyless works here. The stem goes into that hole. So that's not really my concern at this point. What I am concerned about is this bit and this spring around here, which I'm going to remove carefully. Right. Nope, there's the balance. Where have you gone? Oh, it's right by my thumb. Okay. Keep my thumb away from the balance. Nope. Jaws on this side aren't deep enough. Can I do it on that side? No, I can't. Flimsy little two quid movement holder. There we go. Now, one of the things I will say as a beginning watchmaker is that the tools that I have, I can't afford the really good ones, the Bourgeon and that's the wrong size screwdriver. Let's get the next one up. So screwdrivers are pretty reasonable, but some of the other tools are not as good as I would like. I've bought second hands, things like crystal presses and the like, and even a mainspring winder, and you know, eventually I'll upgrade. There we are. So decent size screw, I like that. Okay, let's just hold you down just in case there's tension on you. Yes, there is tension on that over here. So let's just hold you. Nope, that's not going to come out that way. So try and carefully lever you off here. So far, there are no surprises on this. Oh, there we go. Oh, yes, there's quite a bit of tension. That would have disappeared. No, not so much twang off, but dematerialise. So that was acting on there. And okay, I'm not sure if that isn't part of the keyless works. Okay, well, you came apart in this operation, so you are now part of this. So the next bit, no, you're not part of that. So the next bit is this calendar wheel. Oops, sorry, the calendar actuator, which surprisingly tight screw is made of plastic. Why? There we go. Why would this single piece in the movement be made of plastic? Rodico time for you, I think. Wee little screw. There you go. There you go. Right, so I'll take you off. Oops. Get out of the way. So that is okay, so that's on the top, so that's the same orientation as the calendar cover plate, so that's the letter C, and underneath it was this additional little actuator. I think that's for the that's for the day as opposed to the for the date as opposed to the day, and that was that way round. Okay, so further down into this we have that wheel. So that's what's driving it off the centre wheel. Now, is that handed? Now, I've always noted that other watchmakers, typically on YouTube, will look at both sides of a part to see whether there's any wear or anything unique about the orientation, and on this there doesn't seem to be. So probably a good idea to check. Now, this centre wheel is loose, sits on the cannon pinion. I'm not going to take you off. Actually I've pretty much got to, because you're going to fall off otherwise. Right, so let's see if I just pop you back on and engage you. We have You see this little plastic gear. Sorry, there's two plastic gears. A plastic gear, what is the point of that? It's metal everywhere else. You've got some weedy little plastic gear. I'm sure there was a reason for it, but it just seems very disappointing. You know what I mean? Right, so that is the calendar works stripped out, and as far as I can see, there is nothing untoward to report. One thing of note, though, that pivot hole is off-centre in its little boss. Why would that be? And we're starting to reveal the jewels. 21 jewels in this movement. There's one on the auto wind gear, and obviously there's a whole lot more besides. So there we go. That's nice and easy, nice and tidy, clean, well, clean as it's going to be. And tomorrow, sorry, I keep saying tomorrow, on the next part, I'm going to be taking out the keyless works and including this lever here, which is the stem release lever. So thank you for watching. It's a fascinating journey of discovery to coin about as many cliches as I can imagine at this time of night. And yeah, let's pick it up tomorrow, or whenever. It probably will be tomorrow actually, because I'm really enjoying this. Anyway, thank you for watching.